everyone, my name is Apolme S. Garciano and I am a 4th-year nursing student of Negros Oriental State University. And today, I will be discussing about Graves' disease together with my group mates Miss Kathleen Pearl Gahilamo and Miss Debbie Jane Philosopher. This will be the first part of our topic, and in this video, you will know the overview of Graves' disease and its symptoms, what is Graves' ophthalmopathy and Graves' dermopathy, causes of Graves' disease, causes of Graves' ophthalmopathy, and its risk factors. So, let's begin.
Graves' disease is an immune system disorder that results in the overproduction of thyroid hormones or hyperthyroidism. Thyroid hormones affect many body systems, so signs and symptoms of Graves' disease can be wide-ranging. Although Graves' disease may affect anyone, it's more common among women and in people younger than age 40. Common signs and symptoms of Graves' disease include anxiety and irritability, a fine tremor of the hands or fingers, heat sensitivity and an increase in perspiration or warm, moist skin, weight loss despite normal eating habits, enlargement of the thyroid gland or goiter, change in menstrual cycles, erectile dysfunction or reduced libido, frequent bowel movements, bulging eyes or Graves' ophthalmopathy, fatigue, thick, red skin usually on the shins or tops of the feet or Graves' dermopathy, rapid or irregular heartbeat or palpitations, and sleep disturbance. About 30% of people with Graves' disease show some signs and symptoms of Graves' ophthalmopathy. In Graves' ophthalmopathy, inflammation and other immune system events affect muscles and other tissues around eyes. Signs and symptoms may include bulging eyes, gritty sensation in the eyes, pressure or pain in the eyes, puffy or retracted eyelids, reddened or inflamed eyes, light sensitivity, double vision, and vision loss. An uncommon manifestation of Graves' disease called Graves' dermopathy is the reddening and thickening of the skin, most often on your shins or the tops of your feet. A number of medical conditions can cause the signs and symptoms associated with Graves' disease. See your doctor if you experience any potential problems related to Graves' disease to get a prompt and accurate diagnosis. Seek emergency care if you're experiencing heart-related signs and symptoms such as a rapid or irregular heartbeat or if you develop vision loss. Graves' disease is caused by a malfunction in the body's disease-fighting immune system. It's unknown why this happens. Normally, thyroid function is regulated by a hormone released by a tiny gland at the base of the brain or the pituitary gland. The antibody associated with Graves' disease, thyrotropin receptor antibody or TRAB, acts like the regulatory pituitary hormone. That means that TRAB overrides the normal regulation of the thyroid, causing an overproduction of thyroid hormones or hyperthyroidism. Graves' ophthalmopathy results from a buildup of certain carbohydrates in the muscles and tissues behind the eyes, the cause of which also isn't known. It appears that the same antibody that can cause thyroid dysfunction may also have an attraction to tissues surrounding the eyes. The risk factors include family history. Because a family history of Graves' disease is a known risk factor, there is likely a gene or genes that can make a person more susceptible to the disorder. Sex. Women are much more likely to develop Graves' disease than are men. Age. Graves' disease usually develops in people before age 40. Other autoimmune disorders. People with other disorders of the immune system such as type 1 diabetes or rheumatoid arthritis have an increased risk. Emotional or physical stress. Stressful life events or illness may act as a trigger for the onset of Graves' disease among people who have genes that increase their risk. Pregnancy. Pregnancy or recent childbirths may increase the risk of the disorder, particularly among women who have genes that increase their risk. And lastly, smoking. Cigarette smoking, which can affect the immune system, increases the risk of Graves' disease. Smokers who have Graves' disease are also at increased risk of developing Graves' ophthalmopathy. This will be the end of part 1 about Graves' disease. Please stay tuned for parts 2 and 3, which will be discussed by my group mates Miss Gahelomo and Miss Philosopher.